Hello, Don Riccio Dolphins. Here we are on our third day of Read Alouds with Mrs. Mullen. This is a reminder that this is for our kinder through third grade students. We are going to continue our author study. We've read 2 books by the same author, Andrea Beatty, and we're going to read a third book by her as well. This one today is called Iggy Peck, Architect. Same author, Andrea Beatty, and same illustrator, David Roberts. Now, this book is all about designing and creating new and interesting buildings. As we are reading this story, I want you to be thinking about where you live. The apartment or house or room that you're staying in. What does it look like? Where's the furniture placed? How big is it? What is the shape and the size? And the reason why I want you to be thinking about that is because that's going to go along with the activity suggestion that I offer at the end of today's read. Okay, here we go. Young Iggy Peck was an architect and has been since he was 2. When he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed. "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past and she realized those diapers weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks. Take a look at those dirty diapers. Gross." You can see his little naked butt. But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. Do the neighbors look happy or upset that he's digging up dirt and building on their lawn? I think he looks pretty upset. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples and temples from modeling clay. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built the St. Louis arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Check out that arch. Now, although it sounds like fun to build with food, my recommendation is that you don't, because it will probably make your parents upset. Dear Ig had it made until 2nd grade when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk about buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient and new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. What does it look like Iggy's building back there? Do you notice some other familiar faces in this class? You should notice Rosie Revere and Ada Twist. Can you point them out? There's Rosie Revere. There's Ada Twist. That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that above all one ought to avoid them, no ifs, ands, or buts. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" Look how tall that is. That's a lot of pieces of chalk. Take a guess. How many pieces of chalk do you think there is? Maybe 100? 200? No, ma'am, Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now second grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. Let's take a look. Where's Iggy? Is he all the way at the back? Do you think he's excited about the field trip? He looks pretty down, doesn't he? They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they'd no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. We're trapped here! Oh my! Alas, kids, goodbye! Her eyeballs rolled back into her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound, luckily fainted, not dead. Oh my goodness, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to be stuck there? Make a prediction about what you think's going to come next. Let's find out. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces, and on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge dangling from shoestring suspension. Take a look at that bridge that the whole class built. Notice the items that were made to build it. What are some of the items that you can see? I see socks and shoes, fruit roll-ups and sticks, and even a pair of underwear. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Now every week at Blue River Creek, elementary and second grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. How sweet is that? The teacher's letting him share everything he knows about buildings. He definitely looks much more happy than he did on that field trip. Okay. So what we learn about in this book is all about not just building a dream, but creating things and, designing buildings and structures. So the activity that I'm proposing for you today, should you have paper and pencils or crayons or markers, is what I'd like you to do is to design and draw your house, your home, your bedroom, your family room, your kitchen, whatever it is that you have that you're staying at right now, your room. I would like you to draw it on a piece of paper. Make sure that you include the walls, make sure that you include the furniture, make sure you include the details. The more information you put in there, the better it is. And this could be not only an art project activity, but it also kind of gives you a sense of what it's like to be an architect, which is really exciting. So another great inspirational book that I hope that you all enjoyed. I really love Andrea Beatty. I know that she has a new book out. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on it. I may not get it before tomorrow, but as soon as I get my hands on it, I'll make sure to share it with you guys. All right, you guys have a good rest of the afternoon. Talk to you later. Bye.